Across the state, voters in both parties will make their pick for governor. Incumbent Democrat Josh Shapiro is running for his second term in office. He is unopposed. Shapiro cast his vote today in Montgomery County at Rydell West Elementary School. And on the other side of the Commonwealth, Treasurer Stacey Garrity casted her ballot early, but greeted voters today in Allegheny County at Quaker Valley Middle School. Garrity is seeking the Republican nomination for governor and also running unopposed. Another major race we're covering will determine who ends up going up against Republican Scott Perry in November's general election. Sarah Wilson's been following this since the two Democratic candidates on today's ballot announced they were running. She joins us now live from York County with more. Sarah.
Yeah, Valerie, good evening to you. We are here in York City alongside Janelle Stelson, the 10th Congressional District candidate, who tonight is going up against Justin Douglas, the Dauphin County Chairman and Commissioner. Janelle, if you make it past tonight, if you do in fact win the primary, you will ultimately face incumbent Republican Scott Perry in November's election. 2 years ago, you lost him by just 5,000 votes.
Second closest amount across the country, yeah.
What are you doing differently, if anything, this time?
Well, I think we're organized earlier. We're out knocking a lot of doors. We're listening to a lot of people on the phone, at the doors, any way we can communicate. And a lot of what I hear is that people are interested in three things. We talked about affordability in 2024. Now we're talking more about an affordability crisis in terms of it's not just the groceries and the utility costs and the roof, hopefully the roof over your head. People are now bringing in the cost of gas. Scott Perry, our 7-term representative, former head of the Freedom Caucus, backs the war in Iran. He backed giving $20 billion to bail out Argentina. He offered $700 billion to buy Greenland. These are all places he's putting our money instead of here at home. He's not had an in-person town meeting since 2019. I think he's totally lost touch with the people here. And today we were in all 3 counties, and I hear how excited people are about some change. So I'm hoping we can be that change.
I was going to say, turnout for the primaries usually is relatively low.
Yeah.
What has it been like across your Cumberland and Dauphin counties? What have you been seeing?
I have to say it's been a little skinny, and it's funny because when I was on the news, we'd talk about how there wasn't a lot of turnout. It means something different when you really need people to turn out to try to get you on a ballot in November. So I hope that we'll be triumphant tonight and can move on to November and taking on Scott Perry.
All right, Janelle Stelson, thank you so much. Valerie, I'll send it back to you. We're going to have more coverage coming up tonight at 11, but for now, we're live in York County.
Thank you, Sarah. Now for a closer look at the race in Pennsylvania's 48th Senate District. Senator Chris Gebhard is going up against Clovis Crane. Harry Murphy joining us now live from our newsroom with this story. Harry.
Valerie, that's right. It's one of the more closely watched races in the state, unusually so. Republican State Senator Chris Gebhard is running for re-election in the 48th Senate District, which contains all of Lebanon County as well as parts of Berks and Lancaster counties, against challenger Clovis Crane, a rodeo cowboy hoping to buck the outside odds of unseating the incumbent. Normally, a race like this typically doesn't garner very much interest, but one of the biggest topics in this race, gambling. Back in May of 2025, Gebhard introduced a bill to tax skill games at 35%. Crane says these taxes are too high, and he'd opt for a more industry-friendly approach. Polls are set to close at 8 p.m. No Democrat has filed to run in this race, so this is winner take all, and we will be watching this race very closely. Live in the newsroom, I'm Harry Murphy, ABC 27 News.
Thank you, Harry. State police investigating a report of an explosive device thrown at a polling location in Lehigh County. Police say the device was thrown from a vehicle at a church in Catasauqua. The device did explode, but luckily there is no damage and no one is hurt. Despite that and the heavy police presence, the polling place remained open for voting. The polls close tonight at 8. Your mail-in ballot must also be handed in by 8. To find the latest election results, scan the flow code on your screen or just go to abc27.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27, and we're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the home page, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.